Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Pro Wrestling World Talks with Dan and Mac.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to a special edition of Pro Wrestling World Talks. I am your host, Daniel Buck, and I am joined, as ever, by my best friend for over 20 years and the co-host of this program, Mac. Welcome to the program.
Cocaine is a hell of a drug.
I am not on that tonight, I promise.
Vast amount of marijuana.
Yes, but not that. Not the first one. Definitely that one, but not the first one. So, because I may or may not be on vacation this week, we're not going to cover current wrestling news. So, at least this week's episode. But we are going to do something to kind of, again, how I like to sometimes open the vault up a little bit and show what has become the ever obsession or kind of the chase, as you will, of all the, because it's like you have so much as with wrestling collectibles sometimes, but then you're always out. You're always out and about, and you're looking around, and you're just like, I think I need that to go along with it. So tonight, I am going to show you some of the pieces of the collection I did not show you last time. Yeah. Some of them might be repeat. I don't think so. I think everything I'm showing tonight is pretty much fresh. No autographed items. Maybe one.
So much shit last time that even if it's a repeat, I don't think anybody's going to realize it.
No, they're probably not, but you never know with some guys on here that are just like, no, you definitely showed that last time. They have to have that conversation with
somebody's going to go back and watch that episode and point out everything that you showed the last time.
Yes.
And be like, no, you did show this.
You showed that. No, you showed that. No, you actually showed this in season 3, episode 12. Yeah, okay.
If only we did seasons.
Exactly. That's the thing about wrestling. There's no off season. It's just 52 weeks a year, 365 days. Or if you're Hulk Hogan, wrestling in Japan, 400.
Yeet!
That old gag. Speaking of Hulk Hogan, you will definitely see him tonight. I mean, I don't think anybody really expected that.
Because I'm not booked.
So, I think what I'll start out with, actually, is I'm going to give AEW is going to get some love tonight, which I don't think I really gave last time as much as I probably should have, because, folks, AEW does have a toy line, at least currently right now through 2026, with Jazzwares. And they actually, if you go to Jazzware Vaults, you can actually really get some nice box sets, including the Sting box set that they released, which was... Damn! Yes, this, which has pretty much every era of Sting, going back to the Blade Runner days, when he was a part of that tag team in the UWF Mid-South territory with the Ultimate Warrior. He will also be featured tonight. Then, of course, you have the Crow look of Sting, and then they have the Joker Sting from the TNA days. So really, they did a great job as far as evolution of Sting is concerned, which is another box set that's actually out there, but that was released by Toy Biz in the early, I think the late 90, probably 99 or 2000. But it goes for a pretty penny. And that's over on, you'll have to go on eBay to find that. That was a part of WCW in their Toy Biz line. WCW actually had a decent toy manufacturer in their dying days. Before in their heyday, they had original San Francisco toy makers, which were good, but not great. It got way better when they went over to Toy Biz, especially with that Smash and Slam line. That was the first real kind of collector line, so to speak. Like wrestling figures before then were kind of like, especially the LJN and the Hasbros, limited accessories, limited, entrance attires, things like that. that all changed with Smash and Slam with the WCW line, because they started, Sting's coming out. He's got his trench coat. Sting's got his baseball bat. Hogan has belts. Hogan has a soft good T-shirt. And that's kind of what changed everything into what we see now. Because before then, which made me get out of actually the wrestling figure line in the late 90s. And Mac might back me up on this because he probably saw the ads on WWE Raw or SmackDown, whatever it was. Do you remember Maximum Sweat?
Oh my God, yeah.
Yes, they were grotesque wrestling figures. They looked terrible, like these overdone, like overproduced
It's a figure that sweats anyways.
Yes, and also they came with little bottles of sweat that you put water in, and then you could put it inside the figure, and you insert it inside the figure, and then the figure would start sweating.
It's so weird. I really didn't understand the premise of those things, man.
But also, too, I go back to the original San Francisco toy maker WCW line. They had vibrating figures.
I forgot about those ones.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Wow.
Yep.
That's yeah.
I still have some of those figures, I think, over my attic. Because I was just like, but like I didn't understand when I was 13 or 14, and then it just like hit me when I was like 18, 20. I'm like, wait a second.
Yeah, I was going to say
Vibrating
something
figure?
really inappropriate, and I'm just like, I'm not going to do it. I'm just not going to do it.
We don't want to get canceled. Well, we gotta, if we're gonna get canceled, let's do it for something better than wrestling figures that vibrate, huh? Anyways,
I mean, listen, it would have been, HR friendly as it were, but it still would have been ridiculously inappropriate.
oh, without question. I mean, and we're good with that. I mean, that's our whole MO. I mean, highly inappropriate. I think you used that at a party one time.
Pretty sure I did.
You did.
Well, that was highly inappropriate.
Some would literally, they were being highly inappropriate, like highly inappropriate, highly inappropriate, highly inappropriate.
I didn't take it that far. I definitely said it at least once or twice because it was one of those things where you say it and it's hilarious in context because it's me saying it, number one, but also number two, it was ridiculously inappropriate, whatever the hell was going on. And
Yes.
just a deadpan, well, that was highly inappropriate.
Not the deadpan of, well, that went well.
I mean, it didn't, but...
La, 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 la.
La, la, la. The Jets suck.
No.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Don't worry. I just think it's somewhere else to move the conversation along. Don't worry. I got it.
Like that person even knows what we're talking about, A, and B, like they're actually listening to this program.
I definitely don't think they are. And even if they were listening, I don't think they would understand the context of that conversation because they had already exited the car, so it doesn't
Wait,
really
what? There's probably 4 guys that maybe listen to this that we haven't talked to in years that is listening to this episode right now and laughing their ass off because they know exactly where they were and what they saw. The just my beautiful comedic timing. That was the longest, shortest car ride I've ever been on in my life.
Yeah, let's put it mildly.
Check out this new CM Punk Ultimate figure that has the Bret Hart colors. Of course, this was... You know what's hilarious? So about 3 years ago, it was right around the time that CM Punk and AEW were going through their first spat. It was actually the weekend of Brawl Out. Going into that weekend, I had 0 CM Punk figures in my collection.
Really?
0.
Wow.
And I was on the hunt. There were some Walmart figures that got released, and then I ended up going to Eric's, of course, the Emporium of. I have to say it right because I wouldn't be the right, because I know what I'm talking about. Like, people around me know what I'm talking about, but I have to give him proper due because that's just how it is. The Emporium of Retro and Interesting Collectibles, which is located in northeastern Massachusetts. Go see Eric down there. His store is exceptional. Mac's been in it as well. Inventory for days, pretty much of anything you could possibly find. So that weekend,
So just real quick, just clarifying the statement and everything.
Yes.
So it's not just toys. It's old VHS and DVDs and box sets and games, and obviously it does have substantial action figure, toy, everything. So I mean, don't just like, oh, it's just another toy store. No, like
It's
have
not.
old retro gaming systems with the games and everything too. They're not gonna have everything. I remember one of the games you and I always talk about it was Simpsons Hit and Run. They didn't have that. Fine. Didn't matter, didn't care. But they do have a lot of old school like SNES, NES, Nintendo 64, all the various PlayStations. They have all these different sections of games. So if you're a gamer, you can check it out. If you're into like old movies and box sets and stuff like that, they have those too. So it's definitely worth it if you're in the Massachusetts area to go check it out.
so if you need to make a deal too, I mean, he's also someone that'll do trade in. He's very generous with his trade ins,
He is absolutely.
as I could speak for last time. It's like,
Yeah, I mean, there might be some stuff that he might not take, but I mean, there's also going to be a lot that he will. And
he's fair.
He's
extremely fair. Yeah, there's some things he doesn't take, but now if you just message him, he'll be like, "Yeah, I'll take this." I did go in last time. I did text him last time, and he was just like, "I'm not taking any of the AEW stuff, but any of the WWE stuff, I'll take." I'm like, "Okay, that makes sense."
I mean,
Which is sad
listen,
because
it's a
AEW
business,
does have
though.
good stuff.
It's a
It
business,
is.
though, and you got to be able to turn a profit. And if AEW figures are not turning a profit, he's not going to want to take it.
So heading into that weekend, so this is Labor Day of 2022. I had no CM Punk figures. And I think at the end of the weekend, I had like 3. And the one that I ended up getting at Eric's Emporium of Retro Toys and Interesting Collectibles was the early edition of the Elite. I didn't pull it out, but it was very early on. It was a big ticket item. He was asking, I think in the 2s or the 3s, and I had quite a bit of store credit because I had made a decent trade in. And then after that, I had decided, I'm like, so he's just like, it's just going to cost you $50 in cash. I'm like, all right, fine, we'll do it. And, but it's in the box. I still have it. And it's still worth a decent penny. Not as much because of the release of the Ultimate figure, the Ultimate edition of the Money in the Bank 2011 one, which with that T-shirt and stuff and that gear. So the price did come down on it, but at the same time, it's like I only spent like $50 on it. The rest of it's pretty much store credit. Okay. Worst comes to worst ever, I could just sell it, especially with Punk. Anyways, his stuff really is good on resale value. Which this won't be the last time you'll be seeing him in this either. Bear with me because it's like there is certain points that I have to reach over. I Here's the one of my favorite Ultimate Warriors, because this is from Ultimate Warrior of SummerSlam 1991. And if you people really have a good callback like I do, this is the gear he wore the night that he held Vince up and he got fired. I've been telling a certain figure photographer that we know that he has to get this gear out in a Vince McMahon figure and have the recreation of Vince firing him as he's running through the curtain. Just be like, get out now. Who do you think you are? You're not even the tenth of the man that Hulk Hogan is. Get the fuck out, you're fired. Yeah. Get out of Madison Square Garden. I don't know how to worse night, him or the Mountie, because that was the famous jailhouse match for the Mountie.
Oh, God.
We're not the Mounties. Damn Quebecers. Everybody's favorite, Bayley. This is from her gear from WrestleMania last year when she beat Io Sky. Not really proportioned correctly, but
Damn.
yes. We love Bayley on this program. So, and of course, it's just like with the new women's championship too. I was just like, yeah, that's perfect. But also too, because it's Bayley, who's quickly become like my favorite of the four horsewomen. Because it's like, well, Charlotte's up there now too. It's amazing to me how all of a sudden Becky has gone to like third so quickly. Just because now I've just reached a point where it's just like, you're cringe. You're cringe. You are beyond cringe. I'll tell you what's not cringe. The Macho Man for WrestleMania 3. I actually bought this. This is one I had to kind of wait on. Played a very long game on this. Because I didn't see one in box that looked decent up until the day that I met Mick Foley at JBL, and one of the sellers was selling this, and he's just like, $55. I'm like, will you take 50? He's like, sure. Like, all right. Because it's funny how the major figure line, who I love, by the way, love that line, and like all these other secondary kind of figure makers now have contracts with the Macho Man, yet WWE and Mattel has been unable to get it done for like 2 years. Because they did have a WrestleMania 7 Ultimate figure that was supposed to be released, but never did because of the fact that they were not able to get like a contract done. So those things are probably sitting in a warehouse somewhere. And there is a WrestleMania 7 though released by Mattel. It was a Defining Moments figure, but it's not the Ultimate because the Ultimate is more detailed, also has better articulation, and also has multiple heads, multiple hands. The accessories are plentiful. Like you're getting soft goods, attires. You're also getting belts that look great. So that was one where everybody was just kind of just like, yeah, I can't wait till this comes out. And then it got canceled last minute. I think it's the Lanny Poffo death, unfortunately, because of the fact that he was the one that kind of held the rights to it. And now it's like they have to deal with the estate for licensing and that type of stuff. But how come it's easier for heels and faces and like the major figures line to be able to get, but Mattel can't get it done? Mattel can't figure this out? Mattel has Barbie, for Christ's sake, and they can't figure this out. I don't get it. I mean, what the fuck is that? Exactly. What? What? Why can't they get a deal done? Why can't Mattel and WWE just get a deal done with the Macho Man so that way we can get some Macho Man figures? What? This figure is peg warming hard. I have no idea why. Because this is, of course, the attire that Stone Cold Steve Austin wore the night that he drove the Zamboni in to Joe Louis Arena. One of the funniest moments in the history. Like, the only time ever, well, at least the only time, you can't say that because the Devils, the Red Wings did have a bit of a great run during that time. That was the Steve Yzerman and Chris Chelios years. So I really can't be like, oh, that's the best thing to happen on the Zamboni in the 90s for the Red Wings, because I'd be lying. Yes. So, one of the most underrated tag teams of the 90s. Actually, Mac, you were with me when I bought this. This is, of course, is the stunning Steve Austin figure, which I purchased from Eric. And then the reason I bought this was because I knew they were going to be coming out with a Brian Pillman, which they did. When everybody wants to sit there and bitch about why does Lexus King have a job still in WWE? Well, because we want to get Brian Pillman figures. And one of the most underrated tag teams of the 1990s, in my honest and humble opinion, but I think everybody would back me up, the Hollywood Blondes from WCW. And they were only a team for like less than a year. And then WCW management was just like, it's like, why do you guys do this? Every single time. So, if you would have asked me 5 years ago that I was one day going to have a certain person's figure, number one, me even having a Cody Rhodes figure to me 5 years ago would have been, that's no way it's going to happen. But I would have never guessed in a million years that I would have gotten a Cody Rhodes and a Brandy Rhodes figure 2-pack. Never thought it would happen, but
it might. I don't know. It might be zero.
Exactly, Dave. Fucking jerk off. 4.75. You gave AJ Styles and John Cena 4.75. What, did you take a piss during the match?
He sucks, man.
What an asshole. Just what an asshole. He gives fucking 15 stars if Will Ospreay takes a shit. But he can't give John Cena. He can't give John Cena and AJ Styles, who are ending their careers, they're in the twilight. This is Cena's last year. You can't give those guys a 5-star match just for the fuck of it, and a match that was good, a match that everybody was happy with. But no. 4.75. Blow me. This 2-pack, of course, the reason I got it mostly was because of the Cody Rhodes attire from WrestleMania 40 with the helmet.
Of course.
The two heads, by the way, they're both kissy face.
Oh my god.
Because the back of it you can recreate, which I'm surprised our toy figure friend hasn't done that yet.
Boo ran.
They did do a ringside exclusive of Cody and Pharaoh. I will probably be buying that at some point. Probably the Black Friday
they're giving
sale.
him like more money to like pour out his dog and his wife.
No shit, right? No shit. So this is. I remember last time I came in, and I talked about the 2-pack that they did for the Survivor Series of 1990 with the Gobbledygooker and the Undertaker with the egg and all that stuff, which is one of my favorite Amazon exclusives that they've ever done. Amazon's had a real couple of bangers. This is actually another one of these two packs that they did. You can actually get this on sale currently. Been Ultimate Warrior crazy so far. Like, I think this is this. And number one, I never thought in my wildest imaginations, that I would have like multiple Ultimate Warrior figures when I got back into like figure collecting, because these guys could tell you 20 years ago, I would watch the self-destruction of the Ultimate Warrior and DVD on repeat. Because to me, it was one of the greatest. It was like Citizen Kane as far as burial jobs in the history of the industry. But also when I was in my 20s, the main reason I never really liked the Ultimate Warrior is because I've held a grudge. I've held a grudge since 1990. And I've also been proven right in my years that the Ultimate Warrior should have lost at WrestleMania 6. Everybody knows it. It's been now well documented. He should have lost at 6. He didn't. But here we are. And guess it's another topic I'm going to have to talk about in therapy someday. So this 2-pack, it is a grudge match 2-pack box set, which to me is quite hilarious with the box because it looks like an old box cover for Coliseum video. You old Coliseum heads like myself, anytime you see that kind of yellow logo with the WWF logo there, you're always just like, oh, that reminds me of Coliseum video. And it's a 2-pack. Never thought again I would have a Papa Shango action figure, but here we are. Along with the Ultimate Warrior, the jacket, the multiple heads, one of them with the mysterious black tar. If you remember from that promo, when all of a sudden, wasn't that good? Wasn't that feud just fan-diddly-tastic? Like, didn't everybody just, like, flip out over it? Which it's like, oh my God, this is so amazing. The guy's feet is on fire. And then the matches were all 3s. Not even. I think they were worse than 3s. Because if we're going on a Meltzer scare, they were probably just all duds or like half stars.
What is that quote from Grown Ups by Chris Rock? It's not raining 3s, it's drizzling 2s.
Yes, exactly. My friend, you said it best.
I know. Like, there's nothing else to say. Those matches were dog shit.
So, a few years ago, the most random... Because WWE does, and Mattel does a Comic-Con exclusive every single year. Which actually I'm going to show you later on, one of the more cooler ones I've gotten over the last couple of years. This one you can actually still get. It didn't sell as big. I think this was 2023 or 2024. Forgot which year exactly. But, you know, for the collector and me anyways, I was just like, I'm all for this anyways. This is pretty cool. Mattel and WWE got the rights. Of course, if you remember last year, or I think at WrestleMania last year, Muhammad Ali got inducted into the Hall of Fame. And, of course, for his participation at WrestleMania 1, of course, that was the famous Rock comes out and, are you getting inducted here? What's going on here? So they did a 2-pack for Muhammad Ali, which, again, you have the marquee kind of old boxing poster kind of look of him as a boxer. Of course, the greatest of all time heavyweight. This is also the picture was taken from him and Inoki from their famous boxer versus wrestler match, I think in 1976. And then the back is the attire, the referee kind of look that he had when he was the referee at WrestleMania 1. So both figures are one is him as a boxer, which kind of shows him in his prime as a boxer. And then on the other side, you have the referee attire from WrestleMania 1. So if they come out at some point with a Paul Orndorff Ultimate, there is a Paul Orndorff Legends figure you can use. But if you want with your figure photography to line up correctly, you still have to wait for your Paul Orndorff Ultimate figure, which hopefully will come down the line. Because every participant in WrestleMania 1 now has an Ultimate figure except Paul Orndorff. They did a two-pack of Hogan and Mr. T, and of course Piper's gotten the Ultimate treatment, which I'll show you later on in the Coliseum collection when I deep dive into that. Which for a lot of you old head wrestling fans out there, myself included, you'll understand why I'm such like a big proponent for the Coliseum collection. This is so fun. Yet at the same time, I'm like, all right, you always need a bit of tribal treat in your collection. If you're a wrestling fan, you need to have the tribal chief in your collection. I do have another Ultimate kicking around of him with the Universal, the undisputed Universal Championship. This is one with him with the two belts. There is a Brock Lesnar one also too with him with the two belts that is also one of my favorites. But this, to me, is kind of like peak Roman. And the other
absolutely.
one too, but this is like the
one.
absolute like pinnacle right
that
here.
one's peak Roman, I feel like.
It really is. Well, that's my giant Michael Myers figure. Wrong show.
Yeah.
Ah, damn it. We're live, pal. I do have actually an autograph figure I could show, which is this the Bret Hart autograph figure, the Ultimate figure that I got a couple of years back. Steph got me. By the way, had one of the best meals I've had in a very long time tonight. She cooked short ribs. They were fantastic.
Damn.
I don't know why I'm going out here and just saying diddly, like I'm adding it to it. I think it's the Simpsons. Have just
Yeah, I
creeped
think
into
you've
my
been
head
watching
so
Ned
much.
Flanders too much.
We did have to stop the episode tonight because we've hit the Boston one. And she was doing something. She was kind of distracted with the Boston episode. I said, no, you have to watch this full. We have to watch this. I said, because you need a full understanding of why I'm the way I am.
There are some, like, I don't know, like, there are some, like, I can mentally check out and just, like, glance at it and then just keep it on as background noise because I remember it so vividly. Like, the, I was watching the X-Files one earlier where Mr. Burns got all his back straightened out, the shots, and the nuclear power plant so he glows, and his eyes are dilated and all that shit. So it's like, I saw that, and I glanced over, and it was before that, obviously, and it was, they had the X-Files on, they had Mulder and Scully on. I was like, okay, it's Mr. Burns, I get it. Like, I just remember it. Like, I don't need to watch it. And then, the one after that, or a couple after that, I don't remember how far or how many episodes in between, but the one after that was Homer and Marge go out and they leave Lisa in charge and everything goes wrong.
Oh, God, that one's a classic.
That one is a good one, yeah. You don't care that I almost killed my brother? Hold on. I diddly don't.
I diddly don't. Stupid, sexy Flanders.
Big Bear and nothing at all. Nothing at all.
Nothing at all.
Nothing at all.
Nothing at all.
Flanders.
if you're looking back at the history of the industry, people in wrestling are going to look at August 20th, 2021 as there are some people that are going to absolutely think it's one of the greatest moments ever, and then there's going to be a part of a certain cultish kind of group, the sickos, so to speak, that are going to look at that day as the worst day possible and never want to speak of it again. And that was the night that became what was known as the first dance. The return after an almost 8-year layoff of one CM Punk.
Yeah.
The creativity of this figure, it's also a pain in the ass to display because you really can't stand it up. It's the shape of an ice cream bar because, of course, he gave everybody ice cream that night. So, from the aesthetics on the outside of it, it looks fantastic because it does look like an ice cream bar. He's holding an ice cream bar.
Well, even I just noticed it, but even the clear
The cutout.
yeah,
It just,
that's awesome.
it really is. Like, it is one of those figures I look at and I'm just like, because it's just, they were able to capture it in something so unique that because it, I remember,
Well, not only that, but it looks more like a CM Punk figure than it does an AEW figure or a WWE
Yes.
figure, which I like because if you look at the box, the logo is not the prominent factor of the box. It's his name
No.
is prominent.
yes, which I almost feel like he knew. Like,
No, but like if you, I'm not telling you to do it, but like if you bring back out the elite for him, it's just like it's elite, it's WWE, it's WWE
Right.
elite, it's those things are more prominent than making it more of a exclusive CM Punk kind of figure.
right. They,
They
with
did a good
this,
job
it's
on
like,
it. I'll give them credit.
they did, because it's like, you only see AEW in like the top corner here and then the top corner here. Like on the
Yeah,
side
and on the side of the
panels,
box, yeah.
like on the lower bottom, like their logo, but it's mostly it's really all about CM Punk, which was, I think, definitely in design, considering the fact that what am I gonna find now?
Vast amount of marijuana.
Actually, this is kind of fun, just being like, because I have no idea what I'm grabbing. So it's like, okay. Da. I think people are going to call this the CM Punk episode if they just pulled a couple more.
Anything's possible.
Anything's possible! All right. Cousin Brucey. I love you. When I heard, I think I have another brother love too. So it's like I have multiple brother loves. There's some people that don't have one brother love, but they should have many. um. Street Fighter is represented tonight, along with AEW, because there was a collaboration a few years ago that was set up for AEW and Street Fighter, and I remember Billy and I were talking about it, and we're like, this is going to be on clearance. This will probably be on clearance. Because they were charging like $28 a figure for an AEW exclusive Street Fighter combination. They did release a Wrestling Buddy 2 of Kenny Omega. I bought that, I think, for like $8. The figures, I think, were like between $15 and $16. But here we are. The guy who's probably still punching holes in his wall because Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns got into a Street Fighter movie and he didn't. Uh, and of course, the Bucks of Youth, the Young Bucks, Nicholas and Matt Jackson, everybody's favorite tag team ever. The greatest tag team of all time. They're 10 times better than the Road Warriors. You heard it here first, folks. And I think the final CM Punk figure tonight. I don't know. Don't quote me on that, but it possibly could be. This is the box art from it, and this is CM Punk from the ECW era.
Wow.
This is what actually they released this over the summer. I don't think it was. No, it was not the San Diego Comic-Con exclusive. That was a John Cena figure that I did not purchase. I wonder why that is. But this is the CM Punk figure. Him with the ECW championship in his ECW kind of attire, which also is kind of a representation of how, without like the blonde streaks and stuff, of how he was in Ring of Honor and TNA for that cup of coffee. So, but yeah, another Mattel creation over the summer that, along with the 2-pack of Brandy, and again, I'm like, Brandy Rhodes is in my collection. How the hell did that happen?
What the fuck is that?
How the hell did that happen? The Undertaker has another Ultimate. I feel like the only Ultimate now that's missing is a Biker Taker Ultimate, because now they have the Phantom of the Opera.
Oh my goodness.
Ooh. For who the bell tolls up in the Bowery. It's like what's funny is they have two of the heads with the mask, and then they have a separate mask for the third head. It's like, but we already have. Okay. Okay, I see what we're doing here. So now we're gonna move on actually to the part of that I kind of wanted to close out with, because we were just gonna do like a rather quick episode. We weren't gonna try to push it to the limit too much tonight. Especially too, I don't have all the room in the world to kind of keep pulling things out. Whoa. But now we're gonna. I see what I did there. Oh,
I wasn't even. That wasn't at you. Don't worry.
So I have now the part of the program where it's more of the nostalgia kick. Even though there's ones that I did kind of show that were nostalgic, Brother Love, The Undertaker. But this is more now towards the what people call the golden era. The era of the 80s and the 90s, the early 90s, the Hulkamania era, so to speak. So this was a ringside exclusive that sold out so gosh darn fast
Shocking.
because of the fact it is the Elite 2-pack Hulk Hogan and Macho Man Randy Savage, the Mega Powers 2-pack. The garb that they wore on SummerSlam 88. And there is also an Elite, I have it hanging up on my back wall over there, of Miss Elizabeth from that same show with the detachable skirt.
Damn.
Exactly. That's what everybody was saying that night. Like, it was like, what the hell? Really? The only thing that could... They literally bribed Jesse Ventura as the referee that night. But somehow, it's like, just not all things can be bought, I guess, can it be? But then, That 2-pack is perhaps one of the most memorable moments in the history of the industry. Is that team when they were able to be that time between 87 and then of course the breakdown. That whole storyline was probably the best work that they've ever done creatively.
I mean, up
From
to
the
that
fall of
point, yeah.
87 up until the spring of 89, they had very few missteps when it came to that. And they were also able to create a star that was just as popular and just as beloved as Hulk Hogan. And what's funny is that I really never felt like Savage got the credit that he absolutely deserves, because it's like business didn't dip in 88 when he became champion. It stayed steady. And he also was the reason, as him being the antagonist at WrestleMania 5. Well, it depends who you ask, because there's a good portion of the country that will tell you that Hogan was the protagonist, was the antagonist, and Macho Man was the protagonist. It depends who you ask, because that storyline still kind of splits people right down the middle, which is what effective storytelling is supposed to do with the wrestling business. The reason that Hulk Hogan had to take time off in 1988 is this Mattel 2-pack, this San Diego Comic-Con exclusive 2-pack that I hold in my hand that literally sold out, I think, in like within 2 or 3 minutes. That's how like people were going absolutely crazy about this. There's been a couple of exclusives that really kind of hit. The one I haven't gotten yet that I really want to, that's going to probably take me a little time to get it, is the Macho Man Randy Savage Slim Jim edition. That actually came in the Slim Jim box, and it came with him like, it's just
I've seen
iconic.
it. Yeah, I've seen it.
But it's like $150 in box.
Oh yeah, exactly.
So it's like, that's going to take a little time. But I was able to score it on, I don't know how, still, I think Billy, by the grace of God, was able to pull this off. Because when this came out, we were both just like,
Who ran?
I don't care what I got to pay. I don't care if I got to go in the aftermarket. The reason why Hulk Hogan had to take time off in 1988 was to film the cinematic masterpiece No Holds Barred. Yes, it is a VHS box set. And if you open it up, you see where the tape heads are. And it's actually a face-off between Zeus, and Hulk Hogan. Just take off the tape top so that way everybody can get a better look.
That's pretty cool.
It is sick. Like, again, it was I'm like, drop everything. I don't care if I got to pay on the aftermarket, because number one, this movie is one of the greatest films ever made. Number one.
It stinks.
Shut up. It does not stink. It does not stink. Mac is over here just showing his bias against Hulkamania. His bias against Hulkamania. His bias against Rip'em.
I haven't watched that movie in years, so I can't.
Well,
really
I got it
say
on
much.
Blu-ray.
Yeah, we're not doing that.
Yeah, I think we should.
Maybe when you
I
get back.
think we should.
Maybe when you get back, we'll talk about it.
Yeah, I think we should, though. We should do a watch along. I did a couple of years ago on the on another show, but we did on the top of this. So it has on the Mattel box sets, they have usually like quotes, and on the top of it says, "What's that smell?"
God.
Referring to
Dookie.
Dookie. It's a masterpiece.
No, it isn't. Not that line.
Yes, it is.
Not that.
It's a masterpiece. One of the greatest films ever made. So to wrap up tonight, I was gonna kind of show everybody what I feel like is the kind of the Rolls Royce of the wrestling action figure line right now. The one that I think if you're a collector, even a long time, you don't want to collect current figures, like, because I understand you're taking risks, right? Because somewhere around here in this collection, there is a Cora Jade Elite, because I was just like, yeah, Cora Jade could be a star on OnlyFans. But, that's what your thought process is. You're just like that, and so I understand people that don't want to kind of buy into the current crop of talent. I get all that. So, luckily for you, for the Golden Age wrestling fans, for the fans of the 80s and the 90s, for the fans of the LJN figures especially, there is a line for you. And I, of course, am talking about the Mattel Creations line, which the Mattel Creations logo here, which are not, these were Mattel Creation exclusives. Then they got sold to Amazon. Then they went from Amazon now over to Ringside Collectibles, and they are an exclusive to Ringside Collectibles. Coming out into this November is the latest Coliseum Collection 2-pack, which will be King Kong Bundy, his first figure for the WWE in over 15 years, and for the first time in maybe 20 to 25 years, Jesse the Body Ventura will be getting his very first Ultimate figure. Yeah! And also his very first Mattel figure, first time in the line, coming out this November. I pre-ordered it like literally the day that happened, so that'll be coming to my house. Like the second, I bet the minute they get that they put the in stock message out, they will be coming. Like I'll be getting your figures are on the way, sir. Ringside, give us a code. Yeah, sponsor us. So yeah. The reason why I'm such a big fan of the Coliseum Collection line is also because of the artwork. This 2-pack is of George Animal Steel and Roddy Piper. When you look at you look at the box art, it kind of reminds you of something, which I'll get to in a second. It also gives you this kind of cardboard kind of backlot for figure photography if people want to do the backdrop here, if they want to do promo work, things like that. Also, another thing as far as photography is concerned, because as the Coliseum, if you notice the lettering is the font from the old Superstars of Wrestling line through LJN. And you'll notice here the pose of George Animal Steel. And the card back, again, looks like from the LJN line. This Roddy Piper, if you go look at the LJN Roddy Piper, he's in the exact same pose. Every figure in the Coliseum line, if you go and look at their LJN figure, they are doing the exact same pose. However, they can move, actually, and everything is soft goods. Even though what many people don't realize, the Roddy Piper LJN figure did come with a cloth kilt. He was the only one, I think, that had cloth goods, if I'm not mistaken, other than Miss Elizabeth. I don't know if they're going to be doing a Miss Elizabeth and Macho Man 2-pack again because of the current situation with the license for Mattel and the Macho Man. Hopefully they could get that figured out soon, because damn it, I need some more Macho Mans in my life. Like, Macho Man should have like the amount of tires that guy
That's what I
has.
was
He
gonna
should have
say.
like 15
Between him and
figures.
Shawn Michaels, you could make 1 million of them.
You know how many Shawn Michaels I have? It's ridiculous.
I can imagine.
It's ridiculous. Another version of the 2-pack. Here we go. Which I think there's another one kicking around, but I might be mistaken kicking around here but I bought out. People will get the gist of it anyways with the ones that I have out. This is the Jake the Snake and the Rick Rude 2-pack, so to speak. Again, Rick Rude, same attire that he wore for his LJN figure, also with the same pose. Yeah! Same card back as well. And then you have the Jake the Snake Roberts with the Damien. This actually was the second one in the line, because there's been like, I think they're up to like 7 or 8 in the series now. The first one I'll show last, because that one I feel like that these all can be found. So these two, the last two I just showed you, can be found on Mattel Creations website. The one I think, yeah, again, because the license has changed kind of so many times now, it's like, okay, so it was Mattel Creations, now it's Amazon, now it's Ringside Collectibles. All right. This one actually can be found on I think Amazon. This next 2-pack, which again, the Big Boss Man. Very cool, because you're going back to the old, the ball and chain, the nightstick, the heel kind of persona, instead of like the lovable, yeah, I'm gonna take a trip down a. And then you have Bam Bam Bigelow, which was just Bam Bam Bigelow in the 87, 88 days. Even though in the back, you see on the back card here, it kind of looks like his look from like the mid 90s, which is like, but this is kind of more based on his 88, so to speak, his 87, 88 years. Because that's the time that they're trying to go for, was more when it was the LJN look type persona, their gimmicks then. But yeah, and they all also come with T-shirts as well, I believe. I think Bam Bam comes with a T-shirt. I know that. I'm not too sure about Boss Man, because I think he might come with like a ball and chain type deal. This was their first tag team 2 set. Of course, they had to go with one of the greatest tag teams in the history of the industry, but also to another Bret Hart into the collection. Another Bret Hart.
Because I'm not booked.
Yes, Dennis Stamp, you're not booked. You're not booked to face the Hart Foundation. Sorry. But this is... So, they have the blue and they also have the black cards. There are black cards too, which also represent, in 1989, here's the Jim Neidhart. Again, looking exactly like they did in their LJN figures with their poses. There are a chase line of these, and they're black cards. And the black cards represent, in 1989, LJN lost the license to the WWF figures. They had it for 3 years. In 89, they had lost it to this company out of Canada called Just Toys. And they released the figures on a black card, not the blue card that LJN was known for. And the black card, and it was called Wrestling Superstars 89. And those are kind of the rarest of the rare as far as figures are concerned. So if they send you the black card, if you buy these, those are highly more valuable. Like I've seen those go for double compared to what you'll actually pay for for these 2-packs. And these 2-packs are, except this one. This next one actually has been poking around Ollie's, which I don't know why, but considering the talent that's involved. The $1 Million Man, Ted DiBiase, and Ricky the Dragon Steamboat.
Yeah.
Again, again with the $1 Million Man, Ted DiBiase, with his attire and his look. He was holding the bucks, all that money in his LJN figure. So again, the pose matches the figure. And this is the Ricky Steamboat. Again, you look at his LJN figure, the pose matches the figure. And again, he comes with the gi here. This is all soft goods as far as his accessories is concerned. I do not think he comes with the Komodo Dragon, though. If they did the 2-pack for him and Jake Roberts, though, that probably would have been something they definitely would have done. But I love this Ted DiBiase one because the suit is just ridiculous. It's like all puffed out, but it's perfect. Yeah. But you can get this at Ollie's now. I have been seeing them hit store shelves at Ollie's. A lot of these wrestling figure groups I belong to, they have been hitting the store shelves at Ollie's. So if you want to try and be able to start your collection with, get that Steamboat and DiBiase 2-pack. Also, I think the Outsider 2-pack, that is a ringside exclusive, which I did not feature tonight. I think I've shown it here before, maybe. I might show that down the line, like if I do an NWO or Hulk Hogan exclusive episode, because I have an entire shelf for NWO stuff, an entire shelf just for Hulk Hogan, like red and yellow stuff.
Yeah.
Speaking of Hulk Hogan, I needed to kind of close the night out with the very first 2-pack that Coliseum Collection ever released, which, again, when I first saw this with the artwork and who was involved, I was just like, I'm there. Again, the Hulk Hogan, instead of his normal attire that he usually wears of the red and yellow, they went with the red and the white, which was one of the LJN figures. The pose matches it. Even, I think the belt also matches it, because I believe it's from the very first figure, Series 1, that belt is from. So that's the Hulk Hogan. And then the other one, which, again, I was sold considering the fact of, I'm like, so you're getting a Terry, you mean to tell me I can get a Terry Funk Ultimate with him with the 1986 Terry Funk attire where he was just full-blown cowboy, beating the crap out of ring announcers. This is also in his chewing tobacco days, where he literally just spit like his entire thing of chewing tobacco on like the lens of the camera. Just complete class back then. But yeah, this was the collection that I wanted to show everybody tonight. This is kind of everything that I was kind of able to fit. Actually, one more. So, I'm not much of a big pop guy, like pop vinyl. If I can get a deal on some of them, I will. Like, I have a whole stack back here of ones I can't get to at the moment. But this one, and they did other ones too, of which I'll explain. So this Hulk Hogan was the first pro wrestler to be on the cover of Sports Illustrated, and this, of course, with the pose here, the Matt Mania, which I also have a pair of shorts with the same design on it. But and then the figure matches it with the belt and everything. This was an Amazon exclusive. Other ones that I have kind of kicking around are there are a WrestleMania 1. There's two of them. There's Hulk Hogan and then there's Mr. T. And then there's a WrestleMania 3 one, which has Hulk Hogan and Andre the Giant. And they have the covers of the programs as like the card back on it. So it really looks sharp displayed. Also, probably those getting signed, which would be pretty much impossible now, unless you find it on the aftermarket, of course. They just look sharp. And they are also something that could be found reasonably priced now. At one point, these were $30. And I think at least on the ones from Target, those Target exclusive ones, those 4 ones I got, I think I bought for all of them, all 4 of them, like $30. I think that was like 15. Because it's weird with the pop vinyls because some of them are very valuable, and then other ones, it's just like there's 600 of them in the store that just don't move. Like they're just sitting on the shelves for ages. Nobody does anything with them. And so I don't have a lot of pops, probably as many as people think I would, because it's just like,
I feel like those are more of a niche market than the figures themselves.
I feel like that's what it's come down to now. I feel like now people, like, if they just want to collect, they'll just be like, I'll just buy the figure.
Even before, I think that was the case. I think pop is a very kind of niche market. I know people that buy them for not so much wrestling figures, but like other stuff. They have a lot of Marvel stuff too. They do like everything, honestly.
They do.
So I just feel it's a little bit more niche. And like you said, I feel like that, leads into why they don't really move necessarily. Because I've
They do
seen
have
it
Sopranos ones out though now. So
They have, like I said, man, they have everything. They really do.
the Sopranos ones custom with Gabagool.
Gabagool. Let's get back to that Gabagool.
Let's get back to that. I feel like every day I'm watching, like, that's one show I don't think I need to watch another episode of because it's just, I see clips of it every day in my algorithm. I'm just,
Oh, I know.
I think I've seen this season like 6 times already in just these 4 clips. Like,
Well, it's like you and I had the conversation the other day. It's like I forget sometimes how the seasons almost blend together. Like I'm
right.
I started rewatching a couple weeks ago. I'm already on season I think 7, and it's like some of the stuff that's happening from seasons 1 through 7, I felt like could have happened in season 20 for Christ's sake. Like it just feels that recent to me. And I'm sure that by the time I hit season 20, I'm gonna be like, oh, I don't remember any of this shit because I just trailed off watching it after the movie, especially.
We actually started on like season 11 or 12 because that was when I figured that was when I stopped because I had to go to school every week.
Yeah.
Like that was the time where I started going to college and it was just like, I'm doing other things on Sunday nights at that time.
Well, there's that, but I mean, it's also, like I said, by the time the movie came out, it was like late. It was like, why did you wait so long to do a movie? Not that I complained about it, but still, like, that was the thought. And by the time I saw the movie, I was just like, yeah, they don't need to do anything else now. Meanwhile, they kept going for another, 20 fucking years, probably, at this
And they're doing another movie in 2 years, apparently.
I heard, yeah. That'll be interesting to see, for sure.
They're
They need
they're
to go
extremely
somewhere with it. Like, not in Springfield, but I mean, like, have it be they go somewhere international. And I know they've done it in the show in the past, but I mean, have it be a thing.
were watching, because we watched the first couple of minutes of the Boston episode, and they were doing a total kind of hit job of the Patriots, of course. It's like, oh, he threw it to the mascot. Oh, the mascot is an eligible receiver. Oh, bullshit. You just see the head coach take his hoodie and just put the hood over his head.
That's awesome.
You're like, oh, of course.
That's fantastic. They sneak a lot of stuff in that I like completely forgot about in some cases. I can't think of it off the top of my head, but they pushed in like one line in an episode I watched in season 7. I was like, and I just burst out laughing. And I was like, I bet that when I first watched that went way over my head and didn't even pick up on it. Just the stuff that they sneak in. I was like, oh man.
They've gotten more risque too. They haven't gone the Family Guy level yet, but they have pushed.
They pushed it
the
on the
envelope,
envelope, but not,
you know,
not the way Family Guy does. I agree.
They'll. There's a couple of times now they'll just, especially with Krusty on some episodes, just be like, where can I score some blow?
Yeah, there was there I remember it very vividly because it was on the other day too. I was in the kitchen, I was making something to eat, and I had it on it, and the TV is in a spot where I can kind of see it, but this I didn't see. I heard, and I remember playing it like as a teenager too. And I got so mad, but it was when Krusty calls into the sex line, and it's like him and like half the other town men just like, where are the 60 women?
Ooh, sex chat.
You're not a 17-year-old girl, or whatever the fuck he said. It wasn't that obviously, but it just cracks me up. Just the show just literally just cracks me up. Some of the stuff, it's so outlandish, and I was telling you earlier that the episode I was watching probably right before the show started, I think it was the last episode I watched, was Lisa as the babysitter of Bart and Maggie.
Oh God, yeah, you were talking about that.
And it's just, oh my goodness. It's like, you don't really realize it sometimes, but this, watching it made me realize that Bart's an asshole.
He gets worse.
He does. It said when,
Like he
when
gets
Homer
so
gets dumber.
worse.
And Homer gets dumber, so there you go.
One of the episodes that I had, one of the later episodes, at one point, I think so he wanted to go on a cruise, like badly. So they were somehow able to go on a cruise. And he didn't want it to end. So he somehow was able to make it look like that there was he found a movie that he, like some straight to DVD movie that was talking about like nuclear warfare, and he broadcasted that over like the ships. Everybody was just like, our home has been destroyed, oh no. And then they just find out that it was a movie. So it's just, yeah, it's just, he does a lot of stuff where you're just sitting there, you're just like, yeah, you should be in jail, kid. Like, this isn't just some harmless shit. Like,
Yeah.
you know,
like there are so many episodes, even the first 7 seasons, but like that one too, it's like he's being such a little shithead. And like a couple weeks ago or last week, I think it was actually, I saw the Australian episode.
oh God.
Oh my god! Like just some of this stuff, man. I'm just like, you are causing an international incident, Bart. Great job. Great
What
job,
an
Bart.
asshole. Like,
I
you're
know.
just sitting there, you're just like, what an asshole.
Yep. It's just crazy. But yeah, I missed a lot of those episodes, so I'm happy to kind of go back on this little nostalgia trip and watch some of the stuff that I'm sure I missed over the years, but so far I haven't missed anything because as soon as I watched like a clip of it and I could just like mentally check out the rest of the episode.
One of my favorite figures actually, I think, is in my walk-in somewhere. it's a Bret Hart Simpsons figure
Oh, that's awesome.
that they officially released.
That's awesome.
What the problem is that, and I'm mad at myself that I couldn't get a protector for it in time for that signing, because that was Steph was really pushing me. She's like, "You got to get the Bret Hart. You got to do the Simpsons one." I'm like, "I know, but I can't find something to put it in. I can't find a protector for it yet." She's just like, "But it's the Simpsons. It's Bret Hart." I'm like, "I know."
I literally wish that this isn't a dig on Brad. It's a dig on a lot of them, actually. If anything, I wish more people were open to be like, "Here's my PO box. Send me something. Send me some cash with it. I'll sign it and send it back to you."
Oh, you wouldn't be surprised, my friend. There's a group on Facebook of a where
It's not all of them though. I know some of them do it, but it's few and
not
far
just
between.
wrestlers. I'm talking more
Oh, I know you.
certain because I don't want to out anybody personally, because I don't want anybody that's gonna get affected by some person from the law coming over and being like,
Ooh, Rand.
"Hey, you're undocumented." But there are certain players actually, and there are some decent players that for and you know, I'll mention one, but you can probably guess it. He played third base for the Red Sox and wore number 26. And also has been featured on It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, likes fried chicken, things like that. You can send him a baseball card and also send him I think $20 in cash, and he'll sign it. Just make sure you have a self-addressed stamped envelope also with the thing. He'll send it back to you. And that's a Hall of
But
Fame
again,
baseball
man,
player.
I'm trying to say it, that's few and far between. And
No, I know. They
there are
all should
people-
do it.
They all should.
They all should.
Here's a PO box. Send me what you want signed, and send me some cash. I'll sign it. I'll send it back. It's just they all should do it. Honestly, and then they can make a podcast out of doing it, for Christ's sake. Let's be real.
I'm sure they do. I mean, I'm sure there's certain ones. It's like, you do that. Let's say you do 10 packages a day and you're charging $20 just to sign your name.
Yeah.
It's like, I just got dinner for tonight. Jesus.
Exactly.
Like that is and plus that's on top of all the other things. And plus too, that's probably not money too, because again, it's being sent to the house and it's in cash. So you really don't have to worry about things.
Well, I mean, I would send it to a PO box. I wouldn't send it to my house.
Yeah, exactly. A P.O. box, because who knows who it belongs to, right?
Yeah, that's I mean, listen, I mean that, and I don't want crazy people showing up at my house, not for
No,
nothing.
that's true. Unless you live in a gated community.
You think a gate is going to stop some of these people?
You'd be surprised how big the gates are.
You'd be surprised that there's usually a way around the gate, though.
That's true. That is true. I mean, depending on some of the areas, these places too, because it's like a lot of these guys retired to Florida. It's just like, why?
Yeah, but I mean, my point is okay, they retire to Florida, and then the gate is I don't know, just a couple of fences and a couple of open and closed barriers, and then that's it. They just walk a mile down the road and just get in either way because it's not fenced off completely. It's just shit happens, man. I don't think anybody is ever truly safe is the thing, and that gets proven over time, unfortunately. But that's just me personally. I'd send it to a PO box and call it a day, and then I don't need to worry about that. I just need to worry about somebody showing up at the PO box and then following me home.
It's it's interesting the being able to also be in the position to do that, like that big of a name or a celebrity, to be like, oh, people are sending me money to just sign my name. It's like, yeah, because that is something that, because the way I think about it, like obviously with this, it's like I don't mind being the face. I don't mind people like, okay, like, but I also don't want to be like super famous. I don't want to be that level. I maybe known in the wrestling community, that'd be cool. But I don't want to be like famous.
I mean, dude, like, I'll put it this way, like, I don't want to be in the top 3 to 5 to 10 of streamers or whatever on YouTube or channels on YouTube. I'd like the channel to grow, but I don't want to be that big. Yes.
It's just you don't have a life. Like I've always thought about it. It's just like, okay, maybe Fred Toucher popularity, right? Fine, I'll go with that. I'll take that. Like, I don't need.
Yeah, like a couple million subscribers or something like that.
Yeah,
which
exactly.
Is probably what the Toucher is. A couple million people that listen.
It's
to
like
the show.
Fred Toucher, like the Hardy, the guys on like the Sports Hub, something like that. Except maybe Joe Murray. But like I just it's like there's certain talent, folks, because when you're in this industry, you have an ego. You kind of have to, because you think to yourself, it's more of a motivational tactic, but also too, there's a lot of jealousy that gets thrown around. And you also just like, how the fuck does this guy have a job and I don't? Like, that's mostly what it is. Because it's like, I look at him and I'm just like, this fucking guy? Really?
I mean, there's a lot.
This guy?
There's a lot of people, past and present, that I feel that way about, that have been employed there.
It's
Just throwing that out there.
There's some of them I did like too. Like, who are the ones that you didn't like?
I don't like Beetle.
I like Bertram. I think he's a good. I think
he's a good foil to Zoe.
Yeah,
but when he's on his own, I can't stand him.
No, he needs Zoe.
He does.
He needs Zoe.
They cancel each other out.
They do. That's what makes it work. Because I like Zoe. A lot of people don't like Zoe. I like Zoe.
I think there are times he is way over the top.
Well, I'm fine with that.
Like, I remember them talking about it. And this was like a couple weeks to a couple months ago. And because they were filling in for both of them. I think it was like around Labor Day. So I think both were off, and they were talking that like Zoe comes in with a lot of energy, but by like 1 o'clock he's done. He's gassed. And that's when I like Zoe. When he's gassed.
When he's gassed.
When he starts the day, it's just like hooting and hollering and shit. I'm like, dude, just slow down.
I have no problem with that station between 6A and 6P. No problem with it at all.
It depends on the day. I'm going to say it that way. There are days that they annoy me in some way, shape, or form. Usually not Fred or Hardy. There are times that Zoe and Beetle annoy me. Especially when they quip. It's like, shut up. Just stop arguing. Felger and Maz, it really depends on what they're talking about.
I think Felger, there's a video I actually showed that you could check out online, because it hasn't, considering recent news that has occurred coming out of Chapel Hill, if people know what I'm talking about, with Bill Belichick and the North Carolina Tar Heels and the disaster that whole experience has been. One of the guys that Bill has always kept in his fraternity, so to speak, or I don't know what, lackeys, I guess you could say. Matt Patricia, Joe Judge, a lot of these guys that are in that kind of fraternity of just, yes, Bill, yes, Bill, yes, Bill, yes, Bill. I used to think about that way with McDaniels, but I've seen what McDaniels has been able to do with Drake May, and I'm just like, maybe there's something there. But one of the guys that is in Bill's fraternity and has always just been like a Bill kind of defender, which the reason I'm hard on Bill, folks, and again, they're probably just like, when's the wrestling part of this? It's just, we've come to the divulge part of now our sports break, and at least we did it at the end of the program instead of the beginning, which I'm sure. So if you're still listening and you don't want to hear about Boston Regional stuff, great. You had your fill. If you don't want to hear it, I understand, but this is my ranting part. I don't do my ranting on Facebook anymore, right? I have to do it somewhere. So that's where we're at. But the thing that bothers me is the fact that I defended Bill for so long. Mike Lombardi is one of those guys, too, that's been doing that. That's why he's considered the GM down at UNC, which is a complete fucking disaster, mind you. This is one of the bigger cluster Fs I have ever seen, and I have been a wrestling fan for over 30 years. And I understand cluster Fs because I've seen them on almost an annual basis with one of those companies where I'm just like, that is one of the worst shows I've ever seen in my life. 1995, WWE probably doesn't compare to what has gone on in Chapel Hill for the last year. And it's because of the fact that you have a guy that 5 years ago was done and didn't realize that he was done and still wanted to run things like it was 2005. But it wasn't 2005. And I can't knock Bill too much, right? Because it's like, yes, he was the head coach for 6 Super Bowls. He won 6 Super Bowls. Fine. I'll give you 4 of them. 2 of them was because you had the greatest quarterback of all time. And that's a simple, unadulterated fact. And you gave him bad drafts for years. Years. N'Keal Harry over like DK Metcalf? Fucking really? Really? Oh, I was thinking about drafting Lamar Jackson, but we still had Tom Brady. You still could have drafted him. Jesus.
I mean, I just don't care. I just don't. I looked at it from this perspective in that he had a lot to prove going to UNC, and I'm gonna say it this way. I don't think it's a failed experiment yet. They're 2-3. It could be 0-5. I don't think the record at this point in time is really at issue. Now, depending on how they end their season, that could be a much different conversation. However, he needs to restrict her access by a lot because it's become a laughingstock at this point.
Did you hear the latest audio?
I read about it. I didn't hear it though.
She was correcting him on a podcast, like talking about football stuff, and I'm just like,
Yeah.
not correcting him, but she was like questioning it, and I'm just like, why is she there?
Yeah. it's like the same thing with that interview that Bill is doing, and she's in the corner saying something like,
Not
"We're not-
talking about
yeah,
this.
We're not talking about that." It's like, can you fucking leave the room? Like, is he senile? Like, are you the coach? Like, can you fuck off? Like, I get, this mentality of 15 minutes of fame. I really do. And if that's what she's aiming at, then my God.
I have to come up with somebody else for that impression of her. I have to come up with somebody else for that because another person gets a pass for life. But that other,
Yeah, okay, yeah.
yeah, because I need to come up with somebody that would have been like, we're not talking about this.
Yeah, there's there's a lot of people that just came to my mind that I just can't actually say out loud. So I'm just gonna leave it there.
Because then we'd be considered liable in a lawsuit.
I don't think we would get sued, but do
they listen? That's the question. It's just like, I think that would be my first question if they ever had. I'd be like, well, for the first fucking record, for the record here, why the fuck were they listening after all these years? What do they care what I have to say?
I mean, I think it's more like we just need to make sure that neither one of them are talking about us. I think it's more that than anything else in terms of why they would be listening.
There is, and it's just like, if you are listening, why? It's like,
I got nothing.
we've all moved on.
I don't even know who you're talking about right now, so all I can really fucking say is I don't know.
I'm just saying in general. I have no idea what I'm talking about either. For all I know, it's Triple H listening to this program. Oh, he's got some good ideas.
I mean, he should actually listen to us, though.
He should. Like, he should. I feel like I've helped him book the last 6 months at certain points. It's just like, how come this is happening the way I said it?
I was reading this thing about, and this will be like the only thing we really talk about in terms of news, I feel like. I was reading this thing the other day that apparently they're trying to use AI to build their storylines or something right now. I literally burst out laughing when I read this. And I don't know how much you read about it or anything like that, but it got to a point.
I read enough.
It got to a point where it said something of the AI recommended that Bobby Lashley comes in with a character that is like obsessed with Japanese culture or something like that. I don't remember the exact verbiage in this article. And I read it from more than one place, but apparently it was all coming from The Observer, which I thought was hilarious, by the way. Wrestling Observer News.
Of course.
And I'm like, first of all, this looks like it was actually written by AI, number one. And number two, if it is true that WWE is looking at utilizing AI to build some of their storylines, it's probably why they started to suck this year.
I mean, they want to pay me $80,000 a year, and my expenses, I'll fucking fuck. They want to give me $65,000 to make me work from home. Fine, I'll do that. I don't have to. I'll just sit in a fucking Zoom meeting.
You give me
and listen to them yammer. And the thing about it is, and I'm sure that there's. Because the way that my thought process is, I'm going to listen to Bruce Pritchard. I'm going to listen to Michael Hayes. I'm going to listen to Paul Levesque. I'm going to listen to Paul Heyman. Any of the Hollywood guys, though, I'm not going to fucking listen to them. Like, I'm just not. Because they don't know the wrestling industry. They don't. That's part of the problem. You can't have these Hollywood fucking soap opera people writing for pro wrestling. They weren't around in the 80s. They weren't around in the 90s. And that's when shit was really good and felt spontaneous.
Listen, I'm just going to say it this way, right? So I wouldn't listen to Michael Hayes.
I
Just saying.
I know why people say that, but I also have to sit and I have to think about the fact that the Jey Uso thing was a dud. Yes. Well, I'd also have to listen to Road Dogg. So, and I would listen, but I would also kind of maybe critique. The problem is that I don't think creatively I would have ever been. I feel like now I have a chance to work for them and actually make a go of it and stick with it. I feel like if I ever got hired, I would probably last 2 weeks under Vince, and I'd be like, and he would probably throw me out of the office. Or I would have been like, you know what, fuck you, I quit.
Well, I mean, listen, let's put it this way, right? So, like, the Jey Uso thing, and I don't know what other storylines he's writing anyways, so I can't really say too much. But I could sit there and tell you that the Jey Uso thing, and you just said it was a dud. And CM Punk was the right choice. If everybody else in the room is saying CM Punk, shut your fucking mouth.
Yeah. And it's like, don't go. I hate when it's just like, well, we don't want to go with the obvious choice. Sometimes you do.
I would have rather, and listen, it's hard because I thought the triple threat match was good. Punk and Rollins and Reigns, I thought was a good match. Don't get me wrong, and it told a great story. But you couldn't have Gunther drop the belt to one of them in the first place, or just have Gunther face CM Punk in a singles match, which arguably would have been better than what we got with Jey Uso.
Because you saw what happened at SummerSlam anyways. It's like we had what happened and that's the way that WrestleMania should have ended. And then, of course, the Rollins stuff happened, which didn't age like milk, but whatever.
It's a weird time.
It's like he did kind of tempt fate, though, with the injury angle. It's like, you know, like you lied to the locker room,
You
number
saying it's
one.
karma, Dad?
It is, because it's like you tempt fate with that. You just like you fake an injury like that as part of the angle. Number one, you work the boys, which is something you never want to do, because you don't want to work the boys, because once you do that, it's like
Well, I don't know who knew what. I don't know.
there's a lot of distrust apparently from that still.
Well, if there's a lot of distrust, then I don't think it's on Rollins exclusively. I think it's also on Triple H.
No, of course.
As
Well,
it should
yeah,
be.
it's going to be on it. It's got to be because you work them. Like that's the problem. It's like you worked everybody, and it's like, yeah, because we didn't know going. You know, even both of us, I was just like, I'm not commenting yet because I don't know what's going to happen. Like in the back of my mind, I was just like, I'm 90% sure that this is a work, but I'm still going to hold 10% that this is real. Like, and that was my thought process going into it because it was just like, yeah, it looked.
You know what it was? Is that I'm sorry to cut you off. I thought you were done.
It's fine.
I think for me it was really this. It looked like okay, he might have came up lame on that moonsault, and okay, but it was the fact that they kept talking about it. That was really what killed it for me. Because you're a couple weeks out of SummerSlam already at this point, and you keep fucking bringing it up. You bring it up once, that's one thing. Oh, you know, unfortunately what happened to Seth Rollins, blah, 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 blah. Because you look at what happened with Liv Morgan when she got hurt. You know, they called the match, obviously. They talked about it once or twice after that, and that was it. They didn't really bring her up again after that. They do in context with Dom and then Roxanne coming in, but that was it. They didn't push it any kind of narrative. With Rollins, they kept talking about it. They kept fucking talking about it. And I'm like, yeah, it's a work. Bless you.
Thank you. That did give the hint away because it was just like they kept bringing it up. They kept bringing it up. But it's just like, I don't know if they'd work the boy. And they did. they worked everybody, and I was just like, I mean, was it well thought out? Yeah, but at the same time, it's like, especially with Rollins' injury history, I would have been like, I don't know.
See, that was
I don't know
one
if we
of the
want to
things.
tempt fate.
Yeah,
I don't
that
know if
was
we
one
want
of
to
the
tempt
things
it.
for me that I was like, I don't know if to work or shoot now because of his injury history. That was the big thing. But like I said, once they kept leaning into it, I'm like, yeah, okay.
And then you tempt fate with
And then
that.
you
It's
tempt
just
fate,
like, oh man, he's so like. Because again, did I want this angle to end? Yeah. But at the same time, it's like, this is not how I wanted it to end. But at the same, it's like, there's so many buts to this, because it's like, yeah, I'm kind of like done with Rollins at the moment. I didn't want him to get hurt, but he was also fucking stupid on why he got hurt. Like, that's kind of how I feel about all this. Because I'm very conflicted, because a part of me is just like, thank God this is over, because it hasn't worked. And so I'm happy on that end. But then there's the other part of me that's just like, it sucks he's hurt and he might never wrestle again. / he might be done. / so that, and then.
So it depends what it is, too. We don't know yet. And we don't even know what they're going to do with the title yet because it hasn't happened yet when we're recording the show. So it's tough to say. But I mean, it's unfortunate, but yeah, I'm also glad that the storyline's over too.
Yeah, thank God. Yeah, but yeah, I think we're gonna wrap things up. At least we finished on wrestling.
We did.
Instead of us talking local sports and Bill
Yeah,
Belichick.
I didn't want to end on Bill Belichick. Thanks.
Well, everybody, I hope you enjoyed kind of a look into the vault a little bit. I think we'll do another episode down the line of that. But who knows? Because I'm thinking about downsizing my collection anyways at some point, because it's just like,
I mean, what the
just look
fuck
around
is
and
that?
Just like, yeah, it's just too much, man. I got too much. I got to start like thinking about. I got too much of a good thing. It's just like, yeah, because I want to maybe. They released a WrestleFest arcade machine, so I kind of want to make room for that, and I also need money to do that.
Because I'm not booked.
Because it's WrestleFest, and I feel like having that stand-up machine in my toy room would just complete a lot of things. Yeah. So I feel like downsizing will be probably happening at some point. I'm not going to get rid of the stuff I showed you tonight. Everything I showed you tonight, everything I usually show people, I'm probably not keeping. Well, let me rephrase that. I'm probably keeping forever. Like, there's just certain stuff that's like, I'm just not going to get rid of it. But there are certain things that's just like, yeah, I don't need this. Like, I was looking around tonight. I'm like, do I really need this many Seth Rollins?
I don't have like a no prepared, so no.
It's like, maybe I could just get rid of. I can keep 2 Seth Rollins.
Because I'm not booked.
Like all these other Seth Rollins.
Yeah.
On that note, folks, we're going to bid you adieu, and we will see you back here next week on PWW Talks. Bye-bye.